spend a day running around Portland with us. So our first stop was Mitchell Point Tunnel. It was such a nice day when we went. Some cool things about the tunnel is it's a 1.5 mile trail. It recently opened back in March of this year, and it's supposed to mimic the historic Columbia River Highway State Trail, sorry. We were able to find parking really easily when we went, and there are also bathrooms located right next to the parking lot, so that was really cool too. Hello, random guy who was like power walking, racing us to try to get into the tunnel before us. The one thing I will say about visiting this landmark is that it was a lot darker in the tunnels than we thought it was going to be. Here you can see that there are no light fixtures within the tunnel itself, and it was kind of misleading because a lot of the promotional pictures it made it seem like it was going to be a lot lighter in there. So that's something to just keep in mind, as we did have people on bikes come up behind us, and it was very hard for us to see them, and I'm sure for them to see us, because they didn't have any lights fixed to their bikes either. But yeah. The view at the end of the tunnel was just incredible, and I think it really did make it a worth see to visit. Along with people like riding their bikes and just generally like walking in the tunnel, we did see people bring like their animals, like their dogs with them. And I guess that is allowed, but as you can see in the video, there are no like green spaces within the tunnel, so I would really suggest letting them use the bathroom before and after. So our next stop was a breakfast place that we found. We wanted to make sure we ate because our next stop after that was to the Timberline Lodge, and from this breakfast spot to Timberline Lodge was still about an hour, so this place had a lot of really good reviews on Yelp, and so we decided to stop. So my godsister got their breakfast burrito, I believe that was. Curtis got their chicken and waffles, and then I got the chorizo Benedict. It was so good. So here we made a stop at one of the ranger stations on the way to Timberline Lodge. It was so nice in there. It was very, very quiet, and the view of Mount Hood was just incredible. We were so excited to finally visit Timberline Lodge. We went snowboarding last winter on Mount Hood Meadows, but we never made the trek up to the Timberline Lodge, so this was like really, really exciting. One of the reasons why we wanted to was because it's famously known as being kind of the facade for the Overlook Hotel in The Shining, and so to actually be outside and see kind of like the inspiration was really, really cool. It was a really clear day, and from where we were standing at this point, you could see like the faintest silhouette of Mount Jefferson. First thing to know about me is, before anything else, I will never find the gift shop. But the entire first floor, there are a lot of historical elements. Another cool thing is there's a little desk, and I think they like park rangers there that do like tours for people, and also a guest book that you can sign. That's pretty cool.
She's saying that these shingles are all cedar original.
So the next place that we went to was the Hoyt Arboretum, but we actually didn't venture through the Arboretum. A big reason why we went here first was to go to the gifts shop, but it was actually closed by the time we got there, so we didn't end up going. But we did hop onto the bus shuttle that they have that's free and made our way over to the International Rose Garden. And here's the squirrel that was very much trying to ignore us. There was a lot of people just enjoying the gardens. It was a really big space, and I think that if you look on the website, it talks about how this particular garden has like 10,000 individual rose bushes and over 600 different rose varieties. I think they typically bloom between May and October, so it might not be too late to go and see at least some of them that may be in bloom. The history of the garden is so interesting because apparently this garden's history dates back to World War I, and apparently the people who do like rose hybrids actually got people from around the world to send different types of roses. And so the fact that roses have been in this garden and have been, you know, pollinated and, you know, crossbred to have such a large like variety ever since the first like World War, that was just really cool to learn about the garden itself. Something else that was really cool while we visited was that there were some areas where the roses were a lot more fragrant, and so being able to like put your nose up close and smell the different like varieties was also very fun. Definitely worth a visit if you are in the area. I think out of everything I showed in this video, if you could only pick one thing to go to, or if I could just recommend one thing for you to go to, it would probably be the Rose Garden. So yeah, that was our day spent in Portland. See you guys next time. Bye!